Okay, sorry about that. I got distracted when I started talking about the growth hormone issues. Actually, my brain went somewhere else while my mouth was engaged in one place and my brain ended up engaged in another place. That doesn't happen when I got a classroom of students looking at me. That's one of the challenges of me talking to my office. I don't get a lot of feedback, and my mouth and my brain can disengage. Imagine that. Anyway, short stature happens as a response to growth hormone deficiency. Growth hormone is also called somatotropin. In the adult, you'll see osteoporosis. You may see weakness. If you have the anterior pituitary dysfunction manifesting itself with a lack of TSH, then you will end up with symptoms related to the hypothyroidism. And we've talked about that already. Your weight gain, your cold intolerance, thinning hair, decreased mental function, lethargy. If it affects the ACTH, you may see things like hypoglycemia, hyponatremia, malaise, lethargy, postural hypotension, stress intolerance, which produces frequent colds and frequent infections. You know, remember your adrenocorticotropic hormone, also called corticotropin, stimulates the adrenal cortex to release its hormones, and so the adrenal cortex hormones help facilitate appropriate responses in these areas. If you have deficiencies in ACTH and in TSH, these are the most life-threatening because a decrease in secretion of vital hormones from the adrenal and the thyroid gland can kill you. We'll talk about these later. We've talked about the thyroid actually already. The adrenal gland we'll talk about when we talk about adrenal gland dysfunction. But do keep in mind that the adrenal gland is subject to the pituitary gland, the anterior portion of it. You might have some decreases in prolactin and in the melanocyte-stimulating hormones. The interventions are going to, look here. These are key features of the pituitary hypofunction, and these are the hormones of the anterior pituitary gland. Growth hormone, your gonadotropins, your thyrotropin, and your ACTH. So if you don't have these hormones, these are the symptoms that you can be looking for in patients as a result of the decrease in the target organ. Growth hormone comes from the anterior pituitary and directly affects tissues. The anterior pituitary releases your gonadotropins, which then go to the ovaries and the testes to release their hormones, and you get these symptoms from lack of those hormones in women, these symptoms in men. Anterior pituitary releases thyrotropin. Thyrotropin, I didn't say that right. Yeah, I did. Anterior pituitary releases thyrotropin, also called thyroid stimulating hormone. That's where I got mixed up. I'm sorry, these hormones often have more than one word. Just remember that your tropins are from the anterior pituitary and they stimulate a target organ. They sometimes have another name, like the gonadotropins are FSH and LH. The thyrotropin hormone is TSH. And then the ACTH is the adrenocorticotropin hormone, and its target organ is the adrenal gland, and when you don't have adrenal hormone, this is what you have. All right. If you have posterior pituitary dysfunction, then mainly you're going to see a decrease or a deficit in vasopressin, producing diabetes insipidus. And we'll talk more about diabetes insipidus down the road, but these are the symptoms of diabetes insipidus. way too much urine is produced because you don't have enough of the antidiuretic hormone. Now, the interventions are going to focus on lifelong hormone replacement, corticosteroids, thyroid hormones. Men will get androgen replacement. Women will get estrogen and progesterone. Clomid can be used to induce ovulation. Growth hormone replacement, that'll help increase energy. It helps provide for a lean body mass and a feeling of well-being. The dosing on growth hormone is going to be variable depending on relief of symptoms, also depending on what the IGF levels look like, and the development of side effects.